Hello, Heidi. Thanks so much for dropping by my house. Why don't you come into my backyard today where there is always room to grow? In the next couple minutes, I'm going to show you some of my exquisite tropical perennials, some of my mints and herbs and vegetables, and also some special things that I just love making room to grow for every single year. So why don't we go ahead and take a look and see what's growing back in my backyard. All right, well first, Heidi, I want to show you my lovely orchid. Now, back in the winter time, there were no flowers on this beauty at all. It was just this stalk that was growing up out of the leaves and out of the pot. And then early this spring, it started, as you could see, pushing out branches and eventually little pods. And look at those beautiful flowers on that orchid. They are so lovely. Those colors are beautiful. That's the way it is with things that grow. Sometimes there's seasons where there's amazing beauty, and other times there's seasons where things are happening internally in the plant and you don't always see or appreciate the growth that's going to happen, but rest assured that beautiful growth will be coming. I also want to highlight this big tree that's right behind me. About 5 years ago, that tree was small enough to fit into my wife's SUV, and I brought it home and I prepared the ground and dug a big hole and put it in, and have been watering it and nurturing it, and sure enough, that thing 5 years later is a tree of beauty. Sometimes it just takes patience to see things grow over time. We want to see it hurried, but over the long haul, the real growth, that's where it happens. All right, so Heidi, what we've got next here is some of my herbs. There's mint and basil, more, it's called pesto party basil, more mint and more mint. Now these great big pots are so big compared to my hand. And when I planted those little plants, they were just in little 3-inch pots, and look how much they're growing. That's the way it is. It takes time and patience. All right, I got my helper out here now. What do we got here in these 4 plants, Micah?
These are red habanero hot pepper plants.
Red habanero hot pepper plants. Now it's only the beginning of June, and by the time we hit the end of August and early September, these plants are going to quadruple in size, and they're going to have hundreds of hot peppers on them, ready to be made into a special hot sauce. All right, Heidi, next we have our tropical canna lilies. Right here is the Cleopatras, Australian Reds, African Sunsets, and South African Pretorias. Now these are big 15-inch pots with a lot of soil on the inside, but every one of these little plants started in this tiny little 4-inch pot just like this. And if they're going to get bigger, then I have to give them room to grow. Put them in a bigger pot so they can send out their roots and shoot up in all of their beauty. And by the time August comes, these plants right here are going to be about this tall, and they're going to have beautiful flowers, and they're going to be bringing us so much joy right here in our backyard. Well, Heidi, thanks so much for stopping by my backyard to talk about all the different ways there is room to grow in our lives. I think that God speaks to us through nature and wants to talk to us about how He can grow in our lives as well. In the same way that some of His growth is very beautiful and visible and out on the surface for the world to see, other times His growth happens deep inside of our hearts where no one else knows what's going on. But nonetheless, it is all important growth. So let's stay open, you, me, and all the children as well, and make sure that we give God room to grow in our lives. We'll see you again soon.